If you're watching this, it means I think I've found enough items that I'm going to have to split it into more than one video. So this would be part 2 of the medieval church and farmstead and village site that I got permission to in glorious Perthshire in Scotland. It's been pouring with rain almost all day. I've managed to take off my waterproof jacket for the first time, and no sooner have I done it, it started to rain again, but not too heavy at the moment. I've had a phenomenal part 1, so if you haven't seen it, go and have a look. Coin wise, 5 silver I think it was, and one of them's hammered. It's just been an exceptional day. I think I've had about 13 or 14 coins so far, and this is a site that's got history going. Well, you know, there's been a church here since the 7th century, which was destroyed sometime in the late 1600s. There's a farmstead, there's been a village here. The whole site, all the fields are littered full of Iron Age and Bronze Age, so that's 2,000 to 4,000 years old. Anything is possible. So, if you haven't watched part 1, go and have a look. You won't be disappointed. And if you've watched part 1, then welcome to part 2. Let's go and see what else we can find. I've got a cracking signal over here. Hopefully, another coin. Okay, well, welcome to part 2, because I think I have found enough treasure so far that I'm never going to be able to fit it into a video that's not too long. So right here, we've got our first dig of part 2. Somewhere. Ah, there. It is a very crisp 82. And it's about there. It seems to be a pretty small target. Fingers crossed. I mean, another bit of silver would be nice, but it sounds a bit low for silver. Unless, of course, it's a threepence or something like that. But not too stony. Ah, hit a stone just as I said that. Let's flip out the plug. And this is, without a doubt, been one of my best days detecting I have had this year, if not the best that I've had this year. Right, we've vanished. Oh no, we are out. We are out. And it's saying a bit of a unusual sounding 83, so maybe not a coin after all. Right, let's see. I've literally found that many coins. I've lost touch with where I am. Had bits of horse tack out of this paddock as well. We're right next to an old farm. It's been here since probably the 1600s. Right, somewhere in here there's a something. Ah, might be another button. I think it is another button, but it's an unusual shape. Oh, it's silver or tinned. I think we're going to need to wet this one just to be on the safe side. Could actually be a cufflink. Let me just pick out the bit of soil there, thanks to Les. Oh, there we go. So it's still got its loop, albeit it's a bit bent. It's definitely well worn as well, so it was worn for a while before it was lost. Let's turn off the pinpointer and get the water bottle out. I'm wearing waterproof trousers, so it's a nightmare trying to get all the gear out, all the bits and pieces. Now this could be decorated. There could be a nice little insignia or something on here. Only one way to find out. Well, there's something there. There is definitely something on that. Just not entirely sure what it is. So it's some sort of silver plate, I think, that's been put on top of copper. And I'll just need to give this a little bit of a dry out and then get back to you, but there's definitely some sort of decoration on that, maybe even numbers as well. So back to you in a moment. Again, I'm going to need your help on this one. So plain on the back, and on the other side, I just can't make out what that is. Can you? Let me zoom you in a little bit. So it's kind of like a sort of axe shape, or even a plant pot. Could it be a flower coming up from it? If I turn it that way, does that help? Or if I turn it that way, does that help? I'm really not sure what that is, but if someone's going to all the effort to silver plate it, it must have been impressive when it was done. But it's possibly a number 12 there, but maybe that's just the way it's blemished. But if you know, then let me know in the comments below. But I think that's probably Georgian, 1760, 1820, George III era, or it might be into early Victorian, maybe 1850 at the latest, but I think it's probably 1750, 1800, that sort of period. Right, let me know in the comments below. In terms of the volume of finds I've had, this has been the best days detecting I've had this year, honestly. Now we've got a really faint, oh, it's better than faint actually, 88. It could be coin number 13. Now, can we dig? Yes, definitely. Brilliant. Excellent. We've got a full house. We managed to dig all the way around. Brilliant. Come on, out you get. Whoa. Well, not as deep as the other targets. Still coming through as an 88 though. Could be a coin. Is it going to be coin number 13 is the question. Oh, this jacket is, look at this. It's a nightmare. It's raining again. Right, come on, coin number 13. Unlucky for some. Oh, you beauty. We've got silver. I just said, I don't believe it. I do not believe it. Oh, what a day I'm having. What a day. It's a threepence. It is a silver 3p. It's going to be George V again. I've dropped it. Oh, it's all become too much. I can't cope. I cannot cope. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. I will check that hole again in a second, just in case you're wondering why I'm stamping it in. I just don't want to fall in it. Right, let's get that out the way. Pinpointer. Let's get the bottle of water out. What a day's detecting. Back to back silver. This is silver number 5. I've dropped it again. I'm falling apart. I'm literally going to pieces here. Right, it's definitely a threepence. It's quite worn, but it's legible. I'm going to get a date off of that. Definitely. I think it's 1913 or 1918, which definitely, either or, makes it George V. And there he is, looking to the left hand side, and we've got silver number 5. This is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Well, I've literally just said I can't believe I haven't had any milled silver out of this paddock. I then go on to get a hammered silver from 600 odd, 700 years ago, and then 2 seconds later, the next hole, I go and get another silver which is milled. So George V looking to the left. Now, what is the date? Ah, dog hairs. It's 1913, so it's 92.5% silver, and that is beautiful. I am over the moon. What a day I'm having. What a day. And there's plenty more time left yet. Well done, DS2, you wee silver sniffer. The rain's back on again heavy, but do I care? I'm like the proverbial pig in you know what. Now, got a double signal here. I've got a 44, 45 and a much better sounding 82, 83, which is halfpenny territory. So I think we'll go with a good one first. Ah, stone. Not a good start. Oh, another stone. Right, that's better. What a day. What a day. Hopefully this is making for good TV and I don't find out the microphone's broken. Well, that is not making for good TV because that looks like a great big strip of iron or steel or something. Oh no, it's not, it's leather. It's leather. And it's part of a horse harness. Look, that's a copper stud. And that's what's giving the signal. It's part of a horse saddle or bridle. Brilliant. Well, not quite what I was expecting, but it's probably going to have 50, 100, 150 years old of age to it. Unusual find. I just filled that hole in and look, there's still an 83, 84 in the hole, so maybe there's another bit of a stud in there, or maybe that wasn't actually the target I was picking up. So always check your holes. Right, let's see. I think it's shallow, isn't it? Oh, maybe not. Let's turn that round. What's that? Is that a bit of lead? Nope, that's a root. What's that? Yep, I think it's a bit off that bridle. It is. Look, it's another stud. It's another stud off that horse-related item. But still, at least I found it. This is the 45, 46. I don't really have high hopes, to be honest. I think it's going to be probably junk. But it would be nice if it was a button or something else. Is it falling out? Nope. Oh, I might need two hands on this. It's vanished. No, it is there. Somewhere in there. Well, it's very shallow because there's the roots coming through now. Well, there's something right there. Is that a button? I think it might be a tomback. And it is. God, it's that toggle off my jacket again. That is a tomback button. I'm absolutely soaked, covered in mud, and I don't care. So that's Georgian again, 1760, 1820. So we seem to be jumping about. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. We're jumping about between three periods. We seem to have loads of stuff from the 1900s. We seem to have a few items from the sort of 1760s to 1820s, and then suddenly we jumped away back to the 12 or 1300s. So there's certainly plenty going on here. Nice. The rain keeps on coming. I've had to change around my layout. I've put my harness and my camera underneath my jacket now and put the jacket over the top in the hope that when I'm not filming I don't have to keep putting it away. This is a 73, 74. And it's right about there. Definite button territory. I'm very close to the front door of the old barn. The kind of place you would chuck all your junk, but also the kind of place you might lose a few things. We're still in the hole. Right. Let's see what happens. Sounds a bit iron now. Is that a spoon handle I can see sticking out there or something? Right there. That is something. It is a spoon handle. It is a spoon handle. Unfortunately, it's not a silver one. It could have a bit of decoration on it. Well, I was right about being near the door. It's where you're going to chuck your junk. Let me just get my spray bottle out. See if we've got any marks on it. But it looks like it's copper coming through. So maybe it was silver plated at some point. But then again, maybe not. So it looks plain on that side. And on this side, yep, it's plain again. So it's a copper spoon handle. Probably going to be Victorian, 1830, 1900 or so. Well, there are a couple of marks just there. So it'll probably say EPNS, electroplate nickel silver, silver plated, but yeah, unfortunately it's seen better days. Okay, jacket's off. It started to rain again. What are the chances? Right, I don't think this is going to be particularly deep. Let's see if we can break it into the back into the hole. Well, it's right about there, isn't it? What's that? That's it. That is it, and we've got a buckle. Well, we got the bit of the horse tack, and now we've got the actual bit that goes with it. Get out of there. Roots grown right through it. Well, we've got a bit of the leather. We've got a bit of the iron. It's actually very similar to that part of the buckle that I got, a bigger version, with that sort of scalloped edge all the way around. Got that, what, two or three digs ago? But it's a horse harness buckle. It's probably going to be Victorian, I would think. So maybe Georgian at the earliest, but so what, 1760, 1820 if it was George the First, and Victoria probably take it through to about 1901. But makes sense, there's probably horses in here getting tacked up to go out and pull the plough in the fields. Brilliant, nice find. We could have another coin. It's a very crisp 88, and I almost missed it because I was walking a little bit squint with my line, and I just looked and I spotted that my tracks are showing up in the dew on the grass, or the moisture on the grass, and I realised that I'd done a banana shape, and I swung the coil in the bit that I'd missed, and it's where the 88 was. So there you go, nearly doing what I'm always telling other people not to do, which is miss stuff. 88, 89, we're out the hole. I think we're in the clod. And let's have a wee look. Oh, it's very hard ground. Right, just need to sort of dig into this. Right, we seem to be somewhere in here. Oh, that is big, that is round, and that is a coin. Now, is it going to be you know who? Is it going to be you know who? It would be nice if it wasn't. I don't have anything against George V, but you must all be getting fed up looking at him. Let's put this back in my pocket first. And I'm going to have to buy the life story of George V, because if it is George V, as I said before, I'm running out of things to tell you about him. Right, give that a wee gentle rub. Oh, you beauty. It's not George V. It's looking to the right, and it's Dirty Bertie. It's Edward VII. It's his father. So a wee coin from a period that so far we have not hit. So pre-1910, and I think we've got 1908. We do. We have got 1908. All the coins obviously could have been lost at the same time because they would have all been in circulation. Because, like you'll see, anyone who comes to the UK or lives in the UK, we're in a very strange period in history because with Queen Elizabeth II's death, we're going to probably see 3 monarchs within the next 20 years. Oop, dropped my bottle. Because Queen Elizabeth II obviously died last year, 2022, and she's going to be followed just shortly. Well, she is followed right now, but the official ceremony will take place in a week or two of Charles III. And Charles, I don't wish you an early grave, but you're not going to last very long because you're in your 70s, so the likelihood is that Charles is going to be replaced by William, and that'll happen in the next 20 years. So we'll probably have, over the next 20 years, we'll have 3 different monarchs on our currency when all we've ever known is one. So this is Edward the 7th, Dirty Bertie. He was the oldest son of Queen Victoria and her husband, Prince Albert. And his name was actually Albert Edward Saxe-Goth-Coburg, or words to that effect. But he changed his name for becoming king, which some of them do. So instead of Bertie or Albert, Bertie was the nickname that his mother gave him, he changed it to Edward, and he became Edward the 7th. So he only lived he lived until 1909 or 1910, but he was a playboy prince. He waited 62 years or 64 years or so for his mum to die, Victoria, and he smoked and drank himself to death within a decade. So, nice coin, and not a very common monarch to find, but another coin for me. I'm going to stick my neck out here and I'm going to say silver. Well, maybe. It's 94, 95. Maybe not actually. I think it might be a tin can. I'm going to dig quite a big hole because I don't think it's a small target. And it's stony as well, unfortunately. It'd be great if it was silver, but I don't think it is. I think I'm just getting too excited. Right, let's see. What have we got? Well, that sounds a lot better. Oh no, in fact, look, there's something there. It looks green, possibly a bit of copper pipe, right there. And that is exactly what it is. It's a piece of copper pipe, a water pipe. It's been flattened on the end, probably a little offcut. Oh well. Now, this one does sound more silvery. Listen to that. Quite a high pitch. 93, 94. Tell you, it's got potential. It's nice and soft as well, so far. So far. This site has been exceptional. It really has, and oh my god, once I get on all these fields, it's going to be even better. Well, now it's away up to 97, which to me honestly sounds more like brass rather than silver. What's that right there? That's green. Oh, I don't believe it. It's another bit of copper pipe, water pipe. Oh well, I thought we were in there. Well, we might have another bit of copper pipe. 95, 97. Similar readout to that previous couple of pieces. And I'm on a similar line as well, so maybe someone was burying a pipe, chopping a little bits off it. Right, Let's see what happens. Right, we are out. Ah, well, there is something very big and green in the bottom of the hole. What is that? Let's get. I don't need my pinpointer. What am I doing? That is big and that is green. What is that? Oh, it's a bottle top. Ah, it's a bottle top. I thought that was going to be some sort of ancient relic. It's painted and it's Pond's, and I'm pretty sure they make beauty products for women back in the day. I think they're still on the go now. Oil of Uley or oil of Olay, is that not Pond's? But anyway, I think it's a moisturiser or some sort of petroleum jelly or something. Probably 1920s, 1950, something like that. This is a nice one, jumping about a bit. It's anywhere between 85 and 92. Definitely within the realms of a coin. Is that a big target? Seems pretty small. It seems to be right about there. Let me just untangle myself. I've just managed to wrap the pinpointer around my arm. There we go. Right, so maybe a coin. Definitely got the right tone. There's a stone at least. And fingers crossed, because it's been a wee bit quiet. Seems like we're still in the hole. Don't think I've done a very good job with this one. Let's take out another spadeful. Well, we're out and we're still saying 85. Where's my pinpointer? Keep moving things around. Right. What's that? That is, I think, a halfpenny. Definitely looks like a coin. Too thick to be a button, surely. And it isn't a button. That is a coin. Let's give it a wee rub, take the surface off. Surface dirt, not the surface of the coin. Have we got another George V? We might have, you know. Oops, I might have hit it with a spade. Maybe. I'll blame someone else. So there's a Victoria on there somewhere. Not a Victoria, a Britannia even. Yeah, can kind of make something out seated. It's maybe a Victoria, is it? Well, there's the bendy thumb, bringing it to life. We've got letters, so we're going to be able to identify it. We'll be able to date it. So it is, well, it's Rex, which is king. So it's definitely a man. So there goes Queen Victoria as being an option. I think it is, isn't it? It's George V again. Yep, it's George V. George, take a hint. Give us some of your other family members for a change. Well, at least it's a bit different. It's a halfpenny rather than a full penny, but still, it's probably the best part of about a third of a pint of beer back in the day. Maybe even a half pint if you were lucky. But date-wise, I don't think we're going to get one off this, but it's going to be sometime between 1909, 1910 through to 1936. I almost missed this one because there's a big tuft of grass and I couldn't get the coil close enough to the ground. But that is a coin all day long. 86. And if it is a coin, then this is going to be one of the best days detecting that I've ever had. Certainly in terms of silver coins, I think, what have I had? 5? Maybe even 6. That's definitely going to be amongst the best I've ever had. I did have one incredible day on Roman silver quite a few years ago, where I think I got something like 52 Roman silver denarii in a day. And that was exceptional. But certainly I think I had a day I had 5 Roman denarii in a day earlier this year, or the end of last year, but certainly this year I think we're going to be one of the best days I've ever had. So, have we got another coin? Is this day just going to get even better? What's that there? That's a stone, so that's not it. Out you get, little worm. Well, it's not quite what I was thinking it was, but it is right in the middle of the hole. Come on. The ground is really packed. I don't think this has been ploughed in a long, long time. Right, it's not... Oh, there we go, look. Right there. That is a coin. Let's see the imprint. Because you do get people who go, oh, you planted that. Well, that is definitely a coin, 100%. And, well, I've just lost track how many I'm on for this one day. It's been a long time since I've had to do a 2-part video in one day. That gives you an idea of just how many coins I've found. Well, how many items I've found, but especially coins. We have got the date of 1913. It's George V again. I cannot believe it. Right, George, I'm going to need to buy your memoirs so that we can read all about you. So I can tell people more interesting facts about Gorgeous George. We don't actually know that he was gorgeous. I just say that because I quite enjoy it. So, it is George V. It'll clean up better. It's a bit clay soil covered, and I'm sure you've seen enough of George for one day. But his cousin was Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany, or Austro-Hungary as it was known back then, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and it all started to fall apart when there was an assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, and that kicked off a whole load of issues which led to the beginning of the First World War. And it was very much a family affair because George V's cousin, as I say, was Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany. And in addition, the Tsars of Russia, Tsar Nicholas, was also his cousin. So it was a royal affair. 1913, so just on the eve of the Great War, as they called it back then. I've literally walked 6 feet from that last coin of George V, and right here I think we've got another coin, 88, but it gets worse. Well, gets better. 88, and listen, there's another signal right there, which is a 90. So I think we might even have 2 coins. Now, the fact that one's an 88 and one's a 90, maybe, just maybe, that means they're 2 different monarchs, or at least 2 different denominations. Maybe one's a penny, one's a halfpenny, but it could be that they're both aluminium, or that they're both George V. You just never know. Right, might have dug slightly in the wrong place. Let's take that wee bit there out, see if that helps at all. No. Right, let's get the pinpointer in there and see. Definitely sounds really good. It's not in there, no. Well, it's about there. Oh, what's that? Nope, that's a stone. It's about there. What's that? Don't know what's going on here. This could be junk actually. This could have a bigger target than I thought. What's that? That's aluminium, I think. It is. Well, damn, that's a shame. I don't believe it. We've got silver again. This has just been an incredible day. As you saw, I just got tin there, and I thought it was probably because it was going this direction. It was a big piece of tin. I couldn't get it all out the hole actually. I left some of it in there. I've put a marker on top, but I thought it was probably going to be tin again. And there, right there, in the bottom of the clod, I've had a wee sneaky peek. I think it's George V again, but you know what? Suddenly I don't mind seeing him if he's in silver form. Unbelievable. What a day. Oh, what a day. Oh, what is that? That is not George V. That is not George V. Ah, it's George III, I think. Right. I think it's a sixpence. Or maybe a shilling. I think it's George III. It is George III. Oh, that is a beauty. Look at the coin. Oh my God. That is stunning. Look at the tone on that. 1816, so it's just over 200 years old. Unbelievable. And this is a shield. That's what threw me on the reverse. That is what threw me on the reverse. I think that's a sixpence. God, I'm actually trembling. Haven't had one of these for a while. Pete's had one recently. I remember him getting one in one of the other fields, different site. But let me dry this off and I'll get right back to you. Well, it's nice to see silver, but it's nicer, sorry George, but it's nicer, George V, to see someone different. So George III, DG, De Gratia, by the grace of God, Brit Rex FD. So that's George III, by the grace of God, Britain King, Defender of the Faith. And the clear date of 1816. And that is beautiful. Look at the tone on that. Pure silver, probably 95%, give or take, silver, which is probably part of the reason why it's in such good condition. It's got a nice, clean, milled edge on it. And it says, in Old Norman French, it says, Honi soit que mal y pense, which means something along the lines of, shame be whoever thinks evil of me. That's what I'm going with. And that is the motto of the Order of the Garter, which is still today England's highest order of chivalry. It dates all the way back to, I think, Edward II or Edward III, sometime between 1250 and between sort of 1300 and 1350. In Scotland, we've got a different order of chivalry, which is called the Order of the Thistle. And the Latin motto of that is Nemo me impune lacessit, which is who dare meddle with me. So, Honi soit que mal y pense, and you can see in the centre, you can see the symbol of Hanover, because George was also King of Hanover, and the royal family of Britain began with this lineage, the House of Hanover, with George I in 1714. And then top right, you've got the Lion of Scotland. Bottom left, you've got the Harp of Ireland. And then you've got the 3 Lions of England. That is stunning. Really, really beautiful. And yet another silver coin. What are we up to now? 6, maybe even 7 over these 2 videos, which are all shot in one day, which is incredible. Right, let's see if there's more to be had. I'm not going to be able to detect much longer, not because I don't have the time, but I'm running out of battery. My microphone, my phone that I'm recording on, are all struggling, even though they were all fully charged before I came out. Now, whilst I've got a spare microphone battery, I don't have a spare phone battery because there only is one in it. This was 72, 71. Now, could be a button. There is an iron target right next to it, which I'm going to try and avoid. But I cannot wait to get back out on this field. I cannot wait. Farmer's going to be delighted, I think, when he sees what I found. Well, it's definitely in the clod. So I hope it's another good wee target. It could be a button. Could be a button. But cannot wait to get back out on this field. Let's actually get you in the shot so you can see it. Oh, look at that, gold. It's the dreaded ring pool. Well, I'm lucky that didn't appear like that, or I would have thought I'd hit gold. But that is an old pre-1980s ring pool. You old enough to remember them? We've got another one. Honestly, I can't go 2 minutes without getting a target at the moment. Some of them are rubbish. And hopefully like this one here. Hopefully it's going to be something good. Definitely sounds like a penny. Definitely sounds like a penny. Come on. Right. Let's get a big plug out and see what happens. Whoa. Oops. It's a wee bit far away. Right. We're out. Might be something still in the hole. Right, let me get the pinpointer and see what happens. Right, threw that a bit far away. Not doing a very good job at this. I really should get better at using this pinpointer, but I never seem to. Ah, well, that is not a coin. That is some sort of twisty thing. Copper alloy, maybe off of a fence, a twist for a fence, I think it is. So yeah, unfortunately, it's junk. But I think we've got another signal, maybe. We've got another signal in there. It's quite hard, so I'll take a spadeful out. Ooh. Let's see. Tell you what, we've got another silver. My microphone died, I hadn't realised, so I had no volume. That plug there just produced a copper alloy sort of a fencing twist. And there was another signal in the hole. My microphone had died, and that was what was in the hole. Gorgeous George. We're happy to see him again because he's in silver form. I don't know what year yet. It might be pre-1920. He looks quite shiny. He's a wee bit worn, but he looks quite shiny. He's worn on the back though. And it's a sixpence. So that's the same as what we've got with George the Third. So we've got 1924, and we've got a fid def ind imp and the word sixpence at the bottom. So that is going to be definitely 3 pints. I think they were about £2 a pint back in the 1920s. So that is a very sore loss. George, I forgive you. What a day. I think that must be 7, 8 silver coins. I'm going to have to do a massive big roundup in the light box Might even need to buy a bigger light box to fit it all in. Welcome back to the light box, and my goodness, this must be the busiest light box that I think I've ever seen. What a day of detecting. I mean, I split it into part 1 and part 2, but this old farmstead, complete with medieval village, complete with medieval church, I barely even scratched the surface of 400 plus acres of land, and look at that for a haul on day 1. In total, I detected for about 4.5 hours, and I got 19 coins, and of those 19 coins, 7 of them are silver. Now, as well as a silver coin, I also got this little item, which I believe is a cufflink, and it may well be Georgian, but I just cannot figure out what this symbol on it is. So if anyone recognises what that could be, I can't imagine it's just something random. So if you know, then as ever, let me know in the comments below. I'm guessing it's probably Georgian. George III would be a guess, 1760 to 1820, but I suppose it could be through into the Victorian era as well. So let me know your thoughts on that one. We've got the little spoon handle, which has got some letters on it there, which is probably a maker mark, or it says, in fact it does, look, I can see it there now, we're in the light box. It says EPNS, electroplate nickel silver. So that would have been silver plated at some point. Probably Victorian or Georgian in date. Little buckle just here. So that's still got some of the leather, and also the iron pin still attached as well. And that's probably going to be Georgian or Victorian, I'm guessing. So sort of 1760 through to 1850, give or take. A little bit of a horse bridle. Very similar to the bigger one that I got last week. Totally different field though. And then we have a couple of little buttons. This one gold gilt, or just gilt, with the lettering on the back there, which says treble gilt, and then rich, and I think it's rich orange. So it's lost all the gilding on this side. However, it looks to have been a plain button. Then this one has been a tomback. That silvery grey colour looks just like an old silver coin, unfortunately, when you dig it up in that direction, but you can see where the shank's broken. And again, that's probably George III, 1760 to 1820. Now, of the coins, let's work our way backwards. So this is the oldest coin, and this, I do believe, is an Edward I. Edward was also known as Longshanks, if you've seen the film Braveheart, because he had incredibly long legs. Your shanks were your legs. Now, you'll just be able to make out a head there in the centre looking straight at us with a crown on top, and also in the top right hand corner the letters EDW. So that's EDW for Edward. And this is a penny, Civitas London, so minted in the Tower of London in England, and this probably dates to around 1290 to 1307, which puts it firmly in the first Scottish Wars of Independence. So William Wallace, Robert the Bruce, all those famous people from Scottish history. So a very important coin, and probably a good indicator of the age of the site. Now, probably the next oldest item is this one, or should I say the youngest after the Edward penny. This is a halfpenny. It's George III, so it's 1760 to 1820, and I suspect it's probably from an era around about 1806, give or take. But it's in pretty poor condition. It's all copper. Then we've got another George III. Now, you don't get many of these. That is a beautiful 1816 sixpence, I do believe, with the Norman French, Honi soit Quay Mal Y pence on the back, and a beautiful coat of arms showing England, Scotland, Ireland, and in the centre Hanover, because George the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th were all kings of Hanover, and that passed over to Queen Victoria's uncle when she became queen, because they would not allow a woman to be queen of Hanover, so she gave it to her uncle. So there you go, beautiful coin. It's got such a beautiful tone on it, lovely, lovely colours, great condition, and it's often referred to as a bullhead, I think because George III there with these very large Greco-Roman looking head. He's even got a little laureate wreath in his hair. So that's a beautiful coin. And then we've got a mishmash of silver. So this one here is another sixpence with the lion and the crown, 1924, 50% silver. Now this one is earlier. This is a threepence. This is 1913, so that's 92.5% silver. But as you can see, it doesn't fare very much better than the 50% silver. This is another sixpence in pretty good condition, but as you can see, a different reverse. This is the one with the oak nuts, aka the acorns, and the date of 1933. So sixpences were given for luck, still are today in Scotland. And the bride will often wear one in her shoe. And the idea is it's prosperity and wealth. So this is a slightly bigger coin, as you can see. This is a shilling. This one's got a date of 1926. It's just legible and no more. And a shilling in the old days was 12 pence, or 1/24th of a pound, because in the pre-decimal days there were 240 pence to the pound. And again, George V. Almost all the coins are George V. There's a couple of exceptions, but not many. This is also another shilling. You can see in better condition, 1921. This is the first one that I got, that little pocket spill by the wall. And that's the extent of the 7 silver coins. And then we've got lots and lots of George V's in varying condition. This is a penny, 1931. Then we have another penny, similar condition. This one is 1916, right in the middle of the Great War. This is a halfpenny. It's seen better days. It's not survived, and I can't get a date off it, but you can just make out the face of George George V, looking to the left. Then we've got another one, similar condition to the first 2 pennies, and a very clear date of 1930. And this is another very nice condition coin, which dates to 1916 again. Then similar condition once again, George V. This one from 1936, so pushing on to the end of his reign, because he died in 1936. This one, lovely condition again, is from 1921, just after the Great War. And another very nice conditioned one, which is 1913, so just a year before the start of the Great War, also known as World War I. And then yet another George V. It's like they were throwing them away for fun. 1917, so this is from the towards the end of the Great War, which ended officially in 1919. And then we have his son. So this is George VI, and similar condition to the previous. And this dates to 1938, so just the eve of World War II. His brother Edward VIII had not long abdicated to marry Wallis Simpson, the American divorcee, and George VI led the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth through the Second World War. Now lastly, kind of skipped this one slightly, this is Edward VII, and Edward VII was the father of George V, and this one dates to 1908. Now, I actually got 2 coins of him, one after I stopped filming because, well, not after I stopped filming, but I was filming it as the camera died. But that is the extent of the fines. So 19 coins in 4.5 hours, and I think that is what we call a great day of metal detecting. So I'm going to try and get back out on that site today, fingers crossed. It gets as many great targets as we got yesterday. I've let the farmer know, and he is over the moon with a collection of finds. I told him we'd have to report the Edward hammered to the museum as part of the treasure trove process, which he is more than happy to do, so I'll get in touch with them shortly. So thanks for watching, and hopefully you've enjoyed that video, or those 2 videos, part 1 and part 2, and fingers crossed there's going to be more great finds to come. I've got some high hopes for this site. It certainly has plenty of history, and it seems like lots of people with holy pockets. So if you're not already subscribed and you like what you see, then hit the button, and hopefully we'll see you all on the next dig. Thanks for watching.